Hare Krishna. Om Agnya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Ashtaptaeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naisiki Bhupatalaka Kudvyoma Graha Nakshatra Bhupratam Sarit Samudra Dvipanam Sambhavaschaita Dokasam.
Thank you so much, Sachin Prabhu. Do you have volunteer to read the synonyms and the translation?
Yes, Mataji. I can read the synonym. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Bhutala, underneath the land. Kakup, the four sides of heaven. Vyoma, the science, the sky. Graha, the planets. Nakshatra, the stars. Purbutam, of the hills. Sarit, the river. Samudra, the sea. Divipamanam, of the islands. Sabdavaha, appearance. Cha, also. Etat, there. Okasam, of the inhabitants. A translation. O best of Brahmanas, please also describe how the creation of the globes throughout the universe, the four directions of heaven, the sky, the planets, the stars, the mountains, the rivers, the seas, and the islands, as well as their different kinds of inhabitants, take place. Thank you, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, maybe you could read the purport as well.
The inhabitants, the purport by His Grace, Swami Vivekananda, Swami Prabhupada. The inhabitants of different varieties of land, etc., are differently situated, and not all of them are equal in all respects. The inhabitants of the land are different from the inhabitants of the water or the sky, and similarly, the inhabitants of the different planets and stars in the sky are also different from one another. By the laws of the Lord, no place is vacant, but the creatures of one particular place are different from those of other places. Even in human society, the inhabitants of the jungles or the deserts are different from those of the cities and the villages. They are also made according to the different qualities of the modes of nature. Such adjustments by the laws of nature is not blind. There is a great plan behind the arrangement. Maharaj Parikshit requests the sage Sukadeva Goswami to explain all this authoritatively in accordance with the proper understanding. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I can see that our mate has not joined. Any reflections as we wait for her to join? Prasanatma Prabhu, the last time I had your class, it was really, really amazing. Can you at least tell us a little bit more?
Haribol, Mataji. Oh, okay.
Sadly, I've not been joining the class, so I really don't know what has been happening. So I'm totally blank. Sorry.
It's okay. All glories to Srila Gurudev, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, maybe you can have some contributions as you try to reflect. I also would like to try and reflect a bit on the purpose. And if anyone has anything to contribute, at least at this moment, please. As I also take a moment to think about something. But one thing I'm getting from the purport is that everything is arranged. Everything is well arranged. There is nothing that happens by chance, and also everything is arranged according to the qualities of the modes of nature. This means that all existence, every living being is placed according to how they exist. Our karma puts us in different modes. Yes, so this is a great question by Maharaj Parikshit, because this is asked. He asks this question so that for our benefit, so that we can benefit by knowing more about the Lord, and this is the best way to start. Of course, the Bhagavatam describes gradually, we gradually rise from the feet of the Lord up to taking darshan up to his face. I hope I'm audible.
Oh yeah, you are, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, so this is it's best for us to know about the creation, how everything works, what is around us, how the universe is. I think I always try to just be thankful and appreciative of how fortunate Srila Prabhupada has made us just by giving us going that extra mile to get this knowledge to us, because this is the only place where we get to find out about how the universe works, how the Lord expands right from the spiritual world, his expansion, his plenary expansions, how he creates the modes of nature, how he creates the elements, and all these elements and modes of nature. Somewhere also in the Bhagavatam, I think I've read that they are different personalities. And when you go to the spiritual world, you'll see them personally, like you'll see the sense of smell personally, you'll see the different personalities who are in charge, elements as well as modes. So yes, this is the only place where we get to find out about how amazing the Lord does his
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your
Mataji.
realization. Yeah. I can see Mataji has joined.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Please
Mataji.
accept our
Please
humble
accept my
obeisance,
humble
Mataji.
obeisances.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah.
All
Thank you,
glories to
and
Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mataji, and welcome to 2815. That's what we're doing today. Yes.
Wonderful. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashaita Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Srinuvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayantastogya Bhadrani Vidunuti Suvrat Sadam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamastoke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiki Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we are again in the eighth chapter of eighth chapter, second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now these are the questions that are posed by Parikshit Maharaj. Again, the answers for these questions will be either seen in the third canto or fifth canto or 11th canto, depending upon the questions asked. As you all can see, Sukadev Goswami is going to answer the following questions of Parikshit Maharaj in various parts of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vidura asks similar questions in Canto 3, Chapter 7. Some of the answers are provided here are based on study and understanding, and there could be other sections with Srimad Bhagavatam where the questions are answered. So as you all can see, so there are some questions that are posed by Parikshit Maharaj. It is categorized into two parts. One is he questions about the Lord and Jiva. Another is he questions about Kala and Karma. All right, dear devotees. Now, what are the questions that are posed by Lord and Jiva? So first question that he poses in verse number 7 is, how did the Jiva who is spiritual attain a body which is material? The answer for that is given in 2.9, that is Chatushloki Bhagavatam, and 3.7, 10 to 12th verse. That will answer this question. Now, both the second question that he poses, which is the 8th verse of the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, is both the Lord and the common living entities assume bodies. So, what is the specific difference between them? Okay. Then the third question, which is the 9th verse of this chapter, it says, Brahma appeared from the navel of the Lord. Is the form of the Lord similar to that of the material body of Brahma or different? Now, the fourth question, which is the 10th verse, where does the master of Maya, Karno Daksha Vishnu, lie? The answer for that is given in 2.9. Again, the second canto, 9th chapter will answer most of the questions that has been asked. Then he says, that is Parikshit Maharaj, he says, I've heard that the planets and their governors are imagined as the limbs of the Virat Purusha. Please explain more details. So 2.10, 10 to 35 verse will talk about the answer for this question. I've heard that the planets and their governors are imagined as the limbs of the Virat Purusha. All right, dear devotees. So these are the questions that are posed about the Lord and the Jiva. Now, there is questions about Kala and Karma. What are the questions? Now, he says, Parikshit Maharaj says, Kalpa, I know it's the time difference between the creation and annihilation of the universe. Vikalpa is the subdivision of a Kalpa. Now, how time is perceived in various ages and planetary systems. Can you explain, Sukadev Goswami? What would be the lifespan of the humans, demigods, etc.? Could you please clarify that? All these would be answered in 3.10, 3.11, like that. He also has question about division of time. What is it? Can you talk to me about the time concept? These are all very technical because it's talking about Kala. Kala is time span, and this time span is going to vary with the demigods, it's going to vary with the humans, and it's going to vary across universes. And now he's also questioning about divisions of time. Okay. And then the 14th question talks about destinations achieved by karma. How do various karmic activities leads to various bodies? Could you please explain me that? It's a very common question, isn't it? How do you think the destinations achieved by karma, how do various karmic activities lead to various bodies? And then there is creation of various places in this universe, and I would like to know about the inhabitants. That is the today's verse. What is could you please talk to me about the creation of various places in the universe and their inhabitants? In what places, what inhabitants would live? And this is going to be quoted again from 3.10. The answer is going to be quoted in 3.10 from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5.1, 5.16 to 26. All these will talk about, okay, creation of various places in the universe and what are their inhabitants going to be. This is what, dear devotees. Now, we are not going to discuss the answers, but just to understand the question itself will take a lot of time, right? Say, for example, I would like to know about subdivisions of time. That is subdivisions of kalpa. I would like to know. What does that mean? Now, you have to understand what is kalpa. Kalpa is the time span between annihilation and the creation of the universe, and Vikalpa is the subdivision of the Kalpa. So now you have to understand what is Kalpa and what is Vikalpa. And now how the time is perceived in various ages. Again, we do have, now it's Kali Yuga, Treta Yuga, all that Yuga, how the time is perceived in various ages. In Satya Yuga, it's different. In Dwapara, it's different. In Treta, it's different. So how the time is perceived in different ages when people live. And what about the planetary systems? Then he questions about, after this, I would like to know about the lifespan of the demigods and the humans. Then you talk to me about divisions of time. Then you also talk to me about destinations that is going to be achieved due to karma. How do karmic activities give rise to various bodies? Tell me about that. I'm very interested in knowing about, okay, if you're going to do this type of karma, then this is the body you're going to get. Like that, I would like to be very, very specific in understanding about what karma, how karma is going to give me a body. Very, very important question, isn't it? And then today's verse, it's talking about creation of various places in the universe and their inhabitants. Dear devotees, this particular chapter, it's talking more about what Parikshit Maharaj's questions are, which is going to be answered throughout the various parts of Srimad Bhagavatam. So most of it is going to be answered in Chatusloki Bhagavatam. Some of it is going to be answered in third canto, fifth canto, like that we have it spread out throughout. So this is the 15th verse. Now till the 23rd verse, we are going to talk about the questions that are posed by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami. He questions about Lord and Jiva, then he questions about Kala, Karma and other topics. After that, Maharaj Parikshit inspires Sukadeva Goswami to speak. See, please answer all these questions that I have inquired, as well as even some questions I might not have inquired. Kindly talk to me about those things also. I may have inquired some questions, I may not have included some questions. Whatever I have asked you, you will definitely speak about it. Whatever I have not asked, kindly speak about those as well. This is what our Sukadeva Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj. Again, he also confirms, see, don't worry about me. I'm not at all exhausted due to fasting. Hearing your Krishna Katha is very, that satiates Parikshit Maharaj's fasting. It will be seen in the 10th canto where he will, tell that, oh my God, if you are going to stop Krishna Katha, that is when I'm going to be remembering. I mean, my fasting is not at all, because of my, don't think that you should stop Krishna Katha because I'm fasting. He'll clarify that in the 10th canto. No. Please do not interrupt because of that. If I hear Krishna Katha, I really don't even think about eating or fasting or anything. The Harikatha completely satiates me, which is what Parikshit Maharaj will clarify Sukadeva Goswami. And then after that, Sukadeva Goswami will conclude. He's going to be very pleased with Parikshit Maharaj's questions and inquiries. He will then speak Srimad Bhagavatam, answering Parikshit Maharaj's questions. So this is what this chapter is all about, dear devotees. So 15th question talks about creation of various places in the universe and their inhabitants. Now we are going to talk about a very, very interesting topic. Again, a very known topic, which is Krishna as the doer. Because when it comes to creation, when it comes to anything and everything, what is the devotee's perspective? Right? Devotee's perspective is Krishna as the doer. But a materialist, because of his ego, he thinks, I am the doer. This is the problem, isn't it? I mean, whenever we do hard work, we think, yes, I did it. I did it. It's my thing. I did it. The thing is, it's Krishna's mercy. It's Krishna's doer. It's Krishna's doership. It's spiritual master's mercy. It's nothing is due to our endeavor. Again, mercy comes because of our endeavor. Because as you know, we always hear this pastime of Krishna and Yashoda Ma trying to, obviously, you take the, at the end of the day, when you look at Krishna's pastime, he always gives us this lesson that, yes, you do your endeavor, the mercy will flow. And for us to receive the mercy, we have to be free from offenses. Otherwise, the mercy that comes, it will just go. So we have to hold it like a vessel without holes. It should be completely, we should be able to completely pick up that mercy. And for that, we have to be free from offenses. Endeavor is important, but that endeavor doesn't mean you're the doer. From that comes mercy. Through the mercy, you get what you want. Right? And it's only Krishna's mercy that we are able to do what we can. And without his mercy, we will not be able to do anything at all in this world. Okay, dear devotees. So with this, we will talk about how Krishna is the doer. This is just a recap that is given by Arjuna, saying that Krishna, you're the doer. How he's giving various examples in Srimad Bhagavatam that talks about how Krishna is the doer. So now you all understand, yes, the reason is a devotee is always aspiring for advancement in spiritual life. For that, it is important for that devotee to have an understanding of the scriptures in a day-to-day and do the day-to-day responsibilities for his sadhana to progress in devotional service, right? For Brahmaji, he was bewildered. Why? He was bewildered at Lord Sri Krishna. We all know the story, how Brahma get forgetting that, oh, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He was actually tested. The Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, he tested him by stealing all the cows and the cowherd boys of the Vrajadam. He took them to his secret place, and 1 year later, he came to that place to see all the cows and the cowherd boys were still there playing with one another as usual. In fact, this is because, why? Because Lord Krishna expanded himself personally to take care, personally because he wanted to show, yes, Brahmaji is disturbed in his mind. How can this possibly happen? I am the supreme creator. I do not understand. He went back to the cave to see if the boys were still there sleeping. And then he came to the pasture ground. He saw the same boys were still playing with Lord Krishna. And forth he went. He got terribly confused. And of course, we know that the confusion in this world is a source of great suffering. So when one is confused and bewildered, they will feel really miserable, right? If you look at mental pain, it's more painful than a physical pain, right? Because with this mental pain, people even commit suicide. Sometimes in the history, do we find records that people commit suicide due to physical pain? Somehow or the other, people are able to tolerate, no matter how painful the physical pain is. But we find practically every suicide is due to mental pain. When somebody's mind is in confusion, without bewilderment and distress, the person cannot live. So Brahmaji, if you look at him, he was in great mental distress. He was confused. He was bewildered. He lost his composure. Similarly, we find in Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna, he was in a bewildered and confused state. Physically, he was strong and healthy. Tears were rolling into his eyes. His complexion became white. He couldn't hold his bow. His hands were shaking. His hairs were standing on the mouth. His hairs were standing on the end. His mouth was getting dry. In this condition, he turned to Krishna and he said, Krishna, I surrender. I have lost my composure due to weakness. I don't know what is to be done and what is not to be done, Krishna. In this condition of life, I surrender to you. You are my guru. I am your disciple. Now please instruct me. So Brahma, when he was in this condition, at that time, to make matters even more confused, Lord Krishna, by his divine potency, each and every cowherd boy, each and every cow and calf transformed into a form of Narayana, the Lord of Vaikuntha. And around each of those, Narayana was all the great sages and all the demigods after prayers and worship. And okay, Lord Brahma, he saw this, he was utterly confused. He could not contain in himself. At that time, Krishna saw the ultimate extent of mental bewilderment. Obviously, Brahmaji was looking at Krishna standing with a flute in his hand, looking for his friends, just as an innocent child. Now he understood, Brahma, that this person is no ordinary. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. He's the Almighty. And with his golden crown, he placed upon that into Krishna's lotus feet. He said, Krishna, I thought I was great. Just like a glowworm, right? A firefly in the night thinks it's very powerful. How much light he's emanating. That is what the firefly thinks. And among the fireflies, the firefly, it goes saying, "Oh, I can give more light than you." The other fireflies, they're all envious, and they are thinking, "Who can give more light than him?" Right? I mean, this is what the fireflies are telling to their friends. The others are also telling, "Yeah, yeah, I can give more light. He can give more light. I am the best," like that. But the light they are getting is actually stolen. There is envy amongst the fireflies themselves. There is so much pride. But as soon as the sun rises in the morning, nobody could even see the light of the firefly. The firefly becomes so insignificant. Lord Brahmaji was explaining that forgetting you, Krishna, I was thinking I am great. But in your presence, I am like a firefly before the sun. I am nothing. I understood you are the sun, and like I am the firefly. It's like I am the firefly before the sun. I'm nothing in front of you. I'm so insignificant. Again, one thing, dear devotees, why I'm telling this is the questions that are posed by Parikshit Maharaj, they are all questions to prove the point that Krishna is the doer. We are not the doers. And what we do can affect our karma. And what we do, that karma can give rise to a body. And depending upon the body, your creation is that place, the inhabitant is distinct. When we think we are not the doer, our karma is getting purified. We are getting closer to the Lord. After that, there is no more birth and death for us. This is why I'm talking about the story of a firefly of Brahma, how he feels so insignificant before the Lord. He's telling himself that I'm like a firefly before the sun. I'm nothing and I'm insignificant. Now compare Brahmaji's position to our position. His one day is something like 311 billion years. He lives for trillions and trillions of years. Now, we all have a family. We have a family, maybe say 2, 3 children. I am maintaining them. Yeah, I'm maintaining them nicely. But Lord Brahma is the living, maintains he is the one who's responsible for creating everybody on this earth. We may think we may have a nice house, but Brahmaji, look at him. He has Brahmaloka. It's the most luxurious, opulent planets in this universe. He created all the planets in this universe, all the species of life within it. There is no one compared to him. If you look at it from a material perspective in front of us, Brahmaji is so great. And he compares himself to a firefly and he compares Krishna to that of a sun. And we are thinking we are great. That is where the problem is. Only when we think we are great, that is the time we forget Krishna. So that was the point that Brahma Vimohan Leela teaches us. What does it teach us? Brahmaji, for a minute, thought, yeah, I'm the creator, right? I know every living being. I am the one responsible for their birth. I am the creator. And he forgot, yeah, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. When do we forget that? We forget when we think we are great. As soon as you forget Krishna, you want to become great. So therefore, Lord Brahma, in his condition of utter humility, he offers this prayer, Taktenu Kampa. He's explaining the only person that is qualified to be liberated. Again, this verse, when you talk about this verse, he understands this point and he says, yeah, it is due to my previous activities, any sufferings that come upon me by your divine arrangement. You're just giving me a small sample of what I deserve, because I could deserve even more, but you give me only a small sample of it. I can thank you from my bottom of my heart, and I surrender you to the lotus feet, my Lord. Again, if the person is not willing and ready to offer his obeisances with heart full of gratitude to Krishna, he can be most suffering and distressful, facing the distressful condition in his life. He's not the one who's fit for liberation. So the point is, unless you come to that platform that everything happens by the will of the Lord, and whatever you get in life, it's due to the mercy of the Lord, and you thank God for the same, be it happiness or distress. And everything comes by your arrangement, O Lord Krishna. It's your divine arrangement. When you come to that understanding, that is the time, there is the chance for you to attain liberation. Till that point in time, you're not even a fit candidate. Right? That is the point. Now, we have to understand we are in this material world. And again, can you just say, yeah, I don't want distress, then the distress will not come? No, it is not going to be like that. Irrespective of what we think, distress will come. You cannot avoid it. You can try, but you cannot avoid it. From the highest planet of this material world down to the lowest, there are places of misery. Because repeated birth and death is there everywhere. We all know 18.15, 18.16, they all talk about it. The wise souls, of course, they know this place is Dukhalema Shashvatam. The material world is a miserable place by nature, because everything is temporary. Eternal soul can never find peace in this temporary existence of this material world. Therefore, we have to understand the nature of this place, that this place is a place of dualities, whether there is happiness, distress, pleasure, pain, honor, dishonor. We must understand the source of this material existence. The source of everything is the absolute truth. That is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we say, yes, I offer my respectful obeisances to Vasudeva, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. Because why? He is the cause of all causes. It is from whom everything emanates. And Krishna, he also confirms that in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. I am the source of material and spiritual world. Everything is emanating from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage themselves in the loving devotional service, and they worship me with all their hearts. So the point here, dear devotees, we also know from Isha Upanishad, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnachate. So that is the absolute Supreme Lord is the cause of all causes, from whom everything emanates. He is the perfect and he is the complete. And everything is emanating, that is that which is emanating from him, that is also perfect and complete. Not even a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. Therefore, everything is happening. Everything that is happening in this world is perfect and complete. If you see a relationship with Krishna, if you do not see that relationship with Krishna, then there is no possibility of you to see everything as perfect and complete, right? Therefore, point that is brought about is whatever comes to us, we should know is God's grace. It's a divine arrangement. This verse, Tattenu Kampam, it's telling Lord Brahma is explaining whatever suffering condition comes to our life, whatever reversals come into our life, no, it's due to a own past karma. And Krishna, by his mercy, gives us for our purification. He gives that karma just so that we can purify ourselves. Therefore, what crazy person will blame? The circumstances or the environment around him? Right? Oh, it is due to him. It is due to that. This is what we blame. If some circumstances come to our life that is not favorable, then we immediately blame the other person. Yes, see, it is his fault. He didn't do this. That's why I am getting beaten up for that. It's all only his problem. I don't think I did any mistake, so I don't deserve this. He has to probably deserve it. Even more. I will give him even more suffering. Let me just put sufferings onto him. Like that, you try to retaliate whatever comes to you. But you do not understand. Oh, yeah, this is for my purification. I have to purify myself. I have to learn from the suffering. I have to understand why this has happened to me and how I can change my attitude towards other people. This is when we purify slowly and slowly, that is when we'll be able to see Krishna. So, the envy aspect of envy is very, very prevalent in almost everybody, dear devotees. If we do not agree upon it, then we are in problem. Because the more we agree that we have this problem, the better it is to purify ourselves. The more we do not agree that we say, yeah, I don't have this quality, I don't have it. See, he has it. He's bad, I am not bad. I am a very good devotee. I have all good qualities. That is when a problem comes. I was really taken aback by this incident of Pratap Rudra Maharaj, right? I mean, his life as a king, he has everything at his doorstep. Everything, almost everything. But what is his humility? He would come to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he would just tell him that, he's nothing in front of him and he just wants his mercy. This is what he would tell him. He would sweep the floors of Jagannath temple. Again, this is humility, dear devotees. The more we become humble, the more are the chances of getting closer to Krishna. Humility has to become our second nature. Like how enviousness has become our second nature, we have to purify to a point where humility becomes our second nature. Now, the nature of the conditioned soul is to blame others. He will quickly, when some distress happens to his life, he will quickly try to justify, blaming other people, blaming the material circumstance. If a carpenter makes a mistake, he will blame his tools. And if you have a carpenter, he destroys your house, he will tell you, don't blame me, it's the fault of your tools. So the point is, dear devotees, how much to the point we are to the extent we are humble, to that extent you will accept the reactions of the activities that come to you. You will accept that, yes, Krishna is so merciful, he is putting me into the circumstance for my purification. And Lord Brahma says, until you are willing to see like this, you're not qualified for Krishna consciousness. As soon as you see things based on your desire, yeah, I want this, I want that, then it's just your desire. You're trying to fulfill your desire. You have to go through the pain of dualities over and over. When you start thinking like this, meaning when you start putting yourself in a humble position and being situated in Krishna consciousness, then you attain peace. Then you become fearless. In this condition, we create a sense of harmony amongst each other. What is the great cause of disunity? The great cause of disunity is false pride. We want to think we are nice, we are great. We want to think we are an expert. We are the enjoyers. When there is a predicament of life, what do you call? When there is false ego, what happens is we become very anxious to blame others and condemn others. To justify our weakness, we start pointing towards another person. Because we are discontent in a humble position. We want to attain a bigger position. Therefore, we become envious of someone who's bigger than us. This is practically the cause of disunity. If you're not humble enough to thank Krishna for the position we are in and understand it is a result of our past karma, then that would cause disunity, dear devotees, for sure. We all know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling through Jarikan forest. He practically demonstrated us how we can overcome all the differences in karma which are manifested by our ego. He unified it based on the chanting of the glories of the holy names of the Lord. There is only one place where there is complete harmony in this entire creation, and that is where people, they gather together and they glorify Lord's names and qualities. It is discussed in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that the great souls, they gather to discuss and chant the glories of the holy names of the Lord with sincere hearts, where there is no envy, there is no competition amongst them, there is only peace and harmony. As soon as the subject matter changes, we are potentially envious of even the nearest and the dearest one in our life. We quickly blame them and hate them rather than blaming ourselves. One who's with a pure heart puts blame upon himself. He considers, yes, I deserve so much more worse. Therefore, a devotee has no time to defend himself. He's too busy glorifying Krishna. He just wants to glorify the Lord. It's okay if people put blame on me. No problem. I deserve it. Because he doesn't want to even waste a single moment, dear devotees. He just wants to glorify Krishna, nothing but Krishna. What's the point of defending himself? Yes, Krishna, you've given me the circumstance in life, but still I'm able to remember you, Krishna. And this, whatever distress you have given me, that is due to for my purification. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown, even if you're an animal, all animosity between you and other animals will be gone as soon as you take the name of Krishna and keep Krishna in the center. You see Krishna in the heart of every living being. He saw a tiger laying in the road. He placed a foot on the tiger's head and he began to chant the glories of the holy names of the Lord. And tiger, it is the most voracious, it's the most vicious creature on this earth. He raised his arms and he also began to chant the glories of the holy names of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then took bath in the lake. He saw a herd of elephants. The elephants are the most dangerous of all animals in the jungle. The tiger can kill a few people. Serpent can kill a few people. But herd of elephants can destroy the entire town or village within minutes. That is why we say a great soul is called, that is when you commit offense to a great soul, it's called a mad elephant offense. It's called called a tiger offense or wolf offense or cobra offense. Why? It is called a mad elephant offense because nothing more is dangerous than a mad elephant. Mad elephant within minutes can destroy your home. It can destroy your garden. It can destroy your whole family and then everything else. That is taking, that is why it is said mad elephant offense. Right? He understood, yes, God is in every living entity's heart, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even in mad elephants, it is there. He was not even afraid. He plashed them with water and he told them, chant Hare Krishna. And they began to dance in ecstasy, crying out, Krishna, Krishna. They were all dancing in tears. The tears were flowing from their eyes. They fell down to the ground. They began rolling on the ground with ecstasy, screaming in divine bliss. What? Screaming what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And he was walking, tigers began to follow him. Now, generally, forest deer and tigers are the worst enemy because tiger wants to eat a deer, deer wants to stay away from the tiger. They are violent towards each other. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought them together with the holy name of Krishna, those deers who are normally very inimical and hateful creatures towards one another, they began to embrace with love, embrace with tears of love in their eyes. They began to kiss one another on each other's lips. Each tiger with a deer. Yeah, have you seen the deers and the tigers dancing together? How is this possible? It is possible only by the power of the holy name of the Lord. That has the unifying power. And in this age of Kali Yuga, in this age, age of quarrel and hypocrisy, practically everybody fights with everybody else. Everyone is anxious to blame others. Everyone is reluctant to take that humble position. Right? That is why this age is an age of quarrel and hypocrisy. But the name of the God purifies the heart and unifies us in that humble position that, yes, Lord, I am your servant. This pure state of the soul is that Jivera Swarupahi Krishnera Nityadas. We are the eternal servants of Krishna. How do we serve you, Krishna? Gopi Partur Padakamalayod Dhasa Dhasanu Das, by becoming the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, that is the nature of the soul. This will awaken through chanting of the holy names of the Lord. When Krishna becomes the unifying element between us, then there is real intimacy, there is love, there is trust. Yes, there is a desire to become a humble servant through Krishna consciousness. Everything else is illusion until we attain that state. Right? A devotee cannot attain that state amongst each other. So it's Lord Chaitanya's names, Lord Chaitanya, he was chanting the holy names. Although he is Lord himself, he was able to create that atmosphere where deadly inimical animals of the forest come together. So again, the acharyas are telling us that you may not be able to imitate Lord Chaitanya. You may not be able to, go to the forest and get the tigers and the deers to dance, embrace one another in love. But at least you can create atmosphere of this type of atmosphere where there is unity amongst human beings. That is at least possible, isn't it? So that is what is the point, dear devotees. That Krishna is the doer, we are not the doers. We have to take that humble position and we have to serve the Supreme Lord. There is this story in Chaitanya Charitamrita, very instructive story. This story is about a Brahmana who's deceased with leprosy. He had a most chaste and faithful wife. She was always anxious to please him and serve him. She loved her husband so much that she did not care what abuse or inconvenience she had to go through to make him happy. She was a very beautiful woman. She was coming from an aristocrat family. Yet, she is the servant of the sleeper. He was in a deceased condition. He could not even bathe himself. Every day, she would take him in the river and give him a bath. So, one day, there was this beautiful prostitute who was taking bath, nearby. And I believe her name was Lakshira. She was beautiful. And after the bath, the wife took her husband back home as she was trying to make him happy. She saw that his mind was in great distress. So he asked, "My dear husband, what is wrong? How can I make you happy? Is there some way I can take off your distress?" He said, "The reason for my distress is I remember this beautiful prostitute. I'm so attracted to her. I cannot get her out of my mind, even for a second." The wife started to have tears in her eyes. She said, "My dear husband, you want that prostitute? I'm afraid to say this to you, but yes, I do. I'll do my best I can." She had no money. They were poor Brahmana. She went to the house of the prostitute and she began to clean and take care of that house very meticulously. After several weeks, the big woman began to ask, "House is so clean. It has never been so clean before. The other ladies that I used to hire, they did not keep the house as tidy as you did." And she said, "I'm not going to accept any payment." So the prostitute called the Brahmana lady. "What payment do you want? You are making us more satisfied by your service." She said, "I don't want any payment, but I want my husband to be with you. We have no money." So the prostitute said, "All right, call your husband for dinner." And she said, "Yes, I'll do. Thank you so much." So the leper Brahmana and his wife, they came next night for dinner. The prostitute made a very, very wonderful feast. And there were two sections on the feast. One was the simple prasad, the prasad that contained a simple plantain leaf, and there were Ganges water and some things. Some very very simple kind of things were kept. On the other side, they were all plates made of silver and gold and rich preparations, very opulent food on the other plate. She told the Brahmana, "You take a choice. This one has silver and golden plates and bowls with very, very hot, opulent food. And the other one is just a simple prasad on a plantain leaf." Brahmana said, "I'll take the prasad." Um, he ate the prasad and he was very satisfied. And the prostitute looked at him and said, um, she said, um, I'm like this plant. I mean, I'm like this gold and silver bowls, which has meat served in it. Okay, this is a very opulent prasad. It also had meat. And Brahmana, he took the prasadam with the one that contained in the plantain leaf. It's a very sattvic food. It was very, very simple. And he said, your wife is compared to that of the prasad, which is very clean, very pure. She is very, very pure at heart. She's very simple. That prasad is like your wife, and I'm like this meat, very opulent. And as you can see, there is gold and silver balls. I'm like that, very luxurious, very beautiful. But inside, uh, if you look at me, it looks very good, luxurious, and beautiful, and everything. But inside, I'm just rajasic and tamasic in character. I'm very contaminated. So she said, "Why you have to come for me? This is, this sort of enlightenment was given to this Brahmana. Why are you coming to me? Your wife is pure and sattvic. She has all good qualities. Unlike me, I'm just looking as if I'm very good, and because of the luxurious thing that you see outside, but inside, I'm just fully corrupted, fully and contaminated. This is not what. This is not whom you should hanker for. You should just hanker for your wife who's just so sattvic in nature." And when Brahmana heard this, he became enlightened. He lost all his desire to enjoy this prostitute. He lost all his attachment towards everything that is glittery in nature. The world is full of glitter and it's trying to attract us. But a devotee who has wisdom, who knows the truth, he understands the core of it. Therefore, a devotee looks from within, not from outside. External appearances do not matter. Therefore, Krishna consciousness means to analyze and appreciate the substance within, not an external form, dear devotees. That was the lesson that Lipa Brahmana learned. The prostitute said, I'm very beautiful, but what is within my heart? That's not beautiful. Your wife is beautiful, not only from inside, outside, but also from inside. The Brahmana became so thankful. With folded hands, he said, my dear Mataji, you're my guru. Thank you so much. Krishna is speaking through you. So now, this is what it is. One who is humble, he accepts the misery, he accepts the physical suffering, he accepts the mental suffering, he accepts abuse, he accepts the disease. Whatever comes are my own sinful reactions because of which they come. I am not to blame anyone. Krishna is perfect and complete. He is arranging this whole concept of laws of karma simply for my purification. Nothing happens without the will of Lord. He is complete and he is pure. Therefore, in every situation, whatever I am facing, that is perfect and complete for me. Therefore, let me thank Krishna for this arrangement. Let me remember him with love. Whenever I'm forgetting Krishna, that is when I'm facing the most terrible distress. When we think everything is the arrangement of the Lord, everything is perfect, then even though distress is there, it's not there, dear devotees. Nothing is taking place in this creation without the sanction of Krishna. As soon as we recognize Krishna, we will find Krishna. If you're looking for fault within other devotees, then you can't find Krishna. Krishna is manifesting his mercy by giving that distress to us. That is the way when we think, we will be able to not only purify ourselves, we will not blame anyone, we will not blame situations, we will happily be there. Even if distress is there, because of our remembrance towards Krishna, we will be happy in that consciousness. This is the secret to live. There is so much more to talk, dear devotees. I know we are running out on time. I want to end the class perfectly on time. Without any further ado, I want to just make a request all to dear devotees. If we can take a minute to maybe say, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because Radhika Mataji's mom passed away. We want to pray for her so that her soul rests in peace and that maybe she is able to serve Krishna in some form. All right, let's just do that prayers for her and then keep Mataji in our prayers so that she may be able to take service to Krishna. So this is what we will do, dear devotees. Thank you again. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasandubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for that wonderful class. And it was for remembering Kritika Mataji and her family. And thank you, Mataji, for reminding us that humility is a key to spiritual progress. Without humility, we cannot take that step. Thank you so much, Mataji. Just one question, Mataji. You mentioned something about the lifespan of the demigods. Yes, I do know that they have a lifespan. I just wanted to know, they're in the third canto. Which chapter? The
It
lifespan.
is the third canto. The lifespan will be talked about. 1 minute, Mataji. So the lifespan will be talked about in 3.11, third canto, 11th chapter.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
All right.
Is there any question? Right. Maybe not. Maybe I'd request Prasanatma Prabhu to end the session. And please, yes, we do really need to chant one round for Kritika Mataji's family and for her mother who left her body. Before we end, please, we'll have to really chant one round for, one for her. Prasanatma Prabhuji, please end the session.
Hare Krishna. Danvat pronouns. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the wonderful class. So much, very beautiful teachings about how to interact with fellow living beings. How much the holy name is important, just to can create a very auspicious situation, kicking out all disunity, bringing about unity. So important for spiritual lives. How to kick out factors like envy, and instead try to be as thankful as possible to the Lord for every situation He gives us. So thank you so much, Mataji. It's always very simple and articulate and precise, and hoping we can learn, and by your mercy, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, by the Vaishnava's mercies, we can take these teachings and make them practical in our lives, in our everyday lives. Yes. So thank you so much, Mataji. We stand with Professor Kritika Mataji. Such a sad situation. I just learned about it from you. And we pray for her as well. So I just request all of us also to unmute and just chant once the Hare Krishna mantra to pray for Kritika Mataji's mom. Please, let's join. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So she will definitely be going to achieve a much better destination. So we thank Krishna for being there for us also, for bringing us together as this Sangha and being able to be there for each other. So thank you so much. Thank you for everyone for joining in. And all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. That's a wonderful thing, this Krishna consciousness. So I request everyone in glorification of Mataji to please unmute again and chant the Hare Krishna mantra, being thankful
Hare
for her.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Mantra.
All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Spiritual Master. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so
And
much.
thank you, Mataji. And one more thing, I met Ritu Mataji here in the Rath Yatra. Very, very glad to have you and see you, Mataji. She's just full of Krishna consciousness, loving to serve Krishna. And I'm happy to meet devotee. I mean, here on the Sangha, it is very difficult to meet such devotees in person because you're all in London or Kenya or wherever. So, Ritu Mataji, it's my blessing that I was able to see you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Very
Jai.
nice. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. See you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
I'll end the class now.